Hi, my name's Rebecca, and welcome to my piano studio. I'm so glad that you're here. On this channel and in my studio, one of the things that I love to do is teach students who have never played the piano before how to sit down at the piano and make beautiful music every single time. This is a skill that, although I had studied piano for a very long time, I had not ever learned this skill from anybody in all the years that I had studied piano, including my time studying music in college. So we have been going through the entire circle of fifths. And if you're not familiar with that, check out this video. It shows you exactly what the circle of fifths is and how it helps us to understand all the different keys on the piano. So we started in the key of C major. That is a great key for beginners to start in because there are no sharps or flats, no black notes at all. Then we started clicking around going clockwise. We went to G major and D major, and we went all the way around. We have done 6 stops on the circle of fifths so far. And here we are at number 7. This is one of those keys that is super duper intimidating for people who have never played the piano before. Because when you look at it on the page, there are 6 different sharps or 6 flats, depending on how you're looking at it. So today I'm going to be referring to the key of F sharp major. So I will be talking about the sharps. However, understand that F sharp is also a G flat. So this is also the key of G flat major, which also happens to have 6 flats in it. But we're not going to be scared of the black notes today. In fact, this is one of my favorite keys to teach brand new students. I have a surprise. Today I have a student who has never touched the piano before, and I'm going to show you how we're going to work with him, how he can play a duet with me, and it's going to sound amazing. So I promise, if somebody who's never touched the piano before can make a beautiful duet with me, you can too. So in the process, I'm going to also show you how to do a beautiful chord progression so that you can use this in your improvisation. So come over to the piano. I'll show you exactly what the key is, how we form the chords, and then you'll realize just how unscary the key of F sharp major really is. Thank you so much for all the support that you've given me in the few months I've been on YouTube. It's such a blessing. If you would like to support me in a free way, make sure that you are sharing this video, commenting below. In fact, let me know if this is your first time ever playing the piano before, and if you've ever ventured into a key like F sharp or G flat major. Thank you so much for those of you who have bought me a coffee. It's never expected, but whenever somebody does, it really puts a smile on my face, and I'm so thankful. We're here with our very special guest today. What is your name?
Trenton.
Trenton, have you ever played the piano before?
No, I have not.
So this is your very first time playing a duet with me.
Yes.
Okay, and how are you feeling about playing a duet with me?
Excited.
Excited. Oh, that's good. So Trenton happens to be my son, and even though he's my son, he never allowed me to teach him piano lessons. So he's going to demonstrate to you today how it is actually very easy to play in this chord progression in the key of F sharp major. You ready to learn about the key of F sharp?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. So the first thing that we need to make sure that we understand is exactly what a sharp is on the piano. So a sharp simply means that instead of playing one note, you're playing one note that's directly to the right of it. The confusion comes in when people mistakenly believe that all sharps are black notes. Now, in a lot of cases, sharps are black notes, but today we're going to find out that a sharp is not a black note, it is a white note, and I'll show you what I mean. So, for example, instead of playing an F, if we play an F sharp, one note directly to the right or up the piano is this black note. So that is F sharp. But if we go to a note like E, and we say we're going to play an E sharp, one note directly to the right of an E is this note, which you're probably thinking, okay, but that is an F. Correct, it is an F, but this is also considered an E sharp. So if instead of playing an E, we play an E sharp, we are playing an F. That is called an enharmonic. And an enharmonic means two notes that are named differently. So this note is an F, but it's also an E sharp. So for the key of F sharp major today, we're going to be starting on not F, but F sharp. So obviously this is our first note. And whenever we begin a new key, we always want to start with the scale. The scale teaches us a lot of things. It teaches us which black notes and which white notes to play, which sharps and which natural notes to play, and then it kind of gets our ears and our hands prepared to improvise. Now, don't be afraid of all of these sharps, but I'm going to explain to you what they are and what to look for in the piano. So we said that there are 6 sharps today, and sharps always come in the same order. So if you look in your free Circle of Fifths tool that I've provided you, you can just click and download this. You will see that this has 6 sharps in it. And if you go down to the bottom of the paper, you will see the order of sharps. We have an F, C, G, D, A, and E sharp. Those are the 6 sharps. So let's look at what they look like on the piano. So we have an F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp. So that's all of the black notes. We've got the set of 2 and the set of 3. But then there's one more sharp, and that is that E sharp that we talked about. So instead of playing E, we're going to play this white note, which for the purpose of today is not going to be an F. It's going to be an F sharp. So now let's look at what our scale is. Now when we come to scales that have a lot of sharps in them, or a lot of black notes in them, it is easier to look at what notes are white. So let's look at our 2 white notes instead of which black notes to play at first. The 2 white notes, we know that this one, we're going to play an E sharp, and that's a white note. The other white note is a B. So these are the only 2 white notes that you're going to play in the entire scale. All the rest of them are going to be black notes. So now let's go in order and play the F sharp scale. So I'm going to just use one finger to go through this scale. So we have F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, then we have our B, C sharp, D sharp, E sharp, and then back to F sharp. And then we go back down. So you may want to go through that a few times just to feel how that feels very different, right, than a C major scale or something that only has a couple of black notes in it. It does feel very different, but if you switch your thinking and you think about those 2 white notes there, that's going to help a whole lot. So go through the scale and make sure that you've got it, and then we will go on to our chords in our left hand. Now for the other videos in this series, I'm showing you just the major chords in each of the keys, but for this one, I'm going to make it just a little bit easier for you. And we are going to be doing representative chords in our left hand. When we improvise on the piano, I think that it's a great idea to always play with 2 hands. That also seems intimidating if you've never done it before, but I'm going to show you an easy way that you can do that. So first, let's look at our chords that we're going to be making in our left hand. Instead of looking at the triads are just a set of stacked 3 notes, we're going to look at the representative chords for this particular scale. So a representative chord simply means that you are making an octave with your left hand, So in this case, I'm doing F sharp to F sharp. And then I'm putting down a note in the middle. So this time I have F sharp, and I'm putting down a C sharp in the middle. So I want you to just play those all together. Okay, and feel what that feels like to play it all together. And then I want you to arpeggiate it. Arpeggiating means that you start at the bottom or at the top. Actually, it doesn't matter where you start, but you're going to play the notes individually. Or you can start from the top and go to the bottom. It really doesn't matter. You could even play 2 notes at once and then play the other one. Or hold them all, whatever you'd like to do. But that's our first chord. All right, the next chord that we're going to go to is our 6th chord, and this is our D sharp. So the reason it's called a 6th chord is because if we count up 6 notes in the scale in F sharp major, we will come to a D sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is our 6. So that's why I'm calling it a 6th chord. So for this one, we're going to make an octave on that D sharp, and we're going to put an A sharp in the middle. So same deal, you can play it all together. You can play it individually in an arpeggio, or 2 at one time and then the other one, whatever you'd like to do. So we went from our F sharp to our D sharp. Now for this next one, we're going to go to our white note. And one of the white notes that we have is a B. All right, so our B, let's count what number this is in the key of F sharp. So if we start on F sharp and play up to a B, we'll find out what number chord it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is our 4 chord. So we're going to put our B down, and then we have an F sharp in the middle. Same deal, play it together, arpeggiate it, doesn't matter. And then we're going to go to our 5 chord. So we count from F sharp, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that is our C sharp. So we have C sharp with G sharp in the middle. Okay, so let's go through the entire chord progression of what we're doing in our left hand. So we have F sharp, D sharp, B, C sharp, and then we always end on our F sharp. So I want you to go through that a few times in your left hand so that you feel the chord progression, you understand what we're doing, and then we're going to move on to making a melody with our right hand. To start, we want to keep our hand in a 5-finger position to start with. So for the 5-finger position, we're only going to have one white note, and that is this B. So we're going to have F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, that's our white note, and then C sharp. So just kind of feel that with your right hand. And now already we are going to put both hands together. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to play the representative chord in the left hand with 1 beat. And then we have 3 beats to make any notes that we want in our right hand. And for right now, keep it in that 5-finger position. So it can be something like that. All right, so we do 1 beat, 3 beats. On to our D sharp chord and 3 more notes. All right, so let's try this all together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. B. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. C sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we end on F sharp. So go through that a few times so that you get the movement and you understand what it feels like to play with both hands together. And then we're going to expand our right hand just a little bit. Now, as you saw with Trenton when he was making melody, if this was the first time I was ever touching the piano and I was trying to play in the key of F sharp major, I wouldn't even worry about any of the white notes. If you just stick to the black notes, it's going to sound wonderful. Okay, so that's a pentatonic scale, and you don't even have to worry about the white notes at all. So if the white notes are kind of tripping you up and you don't want to worry about them, then don't. Only play black notes and it's going to sound great. But if you want to add those two white notes in there, the B and the E sharp, which is our F, then you can go ahead and do that as well. So when we make a melody with our right hand, we want our hands to kind of stay in 5-finger positions as we play. And what I mean is, even though I'm going to give you 2 different octaves that you can play in, you can play from F sharp to F sharp or all the way up to this F sharp, and it's still going to sound wonderful. We don't want to be popping around so much that it's too much for our ears to handle. So if we did something like this, I followed the rules. I only played those notes I told you to play, but it still was popping around a lot and it was hard for our ear to handle. So we want to keep our hands kind of close and our melodies close. So it's something like this. It's a lot easier for our ear to understand something like that than being popping back and forth. So practice making a couple of melodies in your right hand, and then we're going to be playing so that it's not alternating hands, but hands together at the same time. So let's give this a try, where we're going to play the chord as we are doing a melody in the right hand. You do not have to go quickly. This can be very slow. All right, so let's give this a try. Make sure you end on that F sharp chord so it sounds like your song has completed. So that's it. That is how easy the key of F sharp major or G flat major really can be. I hope that this has inspired you to immediately sit down and start playing with these black notes and realizing that they have a whole nother feel to them. If you want to go through the circle of fifths with me, make sure that you are subscribed, you like this video, and you check out my playlist on the circle of fifths. Keep practicing. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything you'd like me to touch on further or to explain more, and I would love to consider doing that. Have a great day. Keep practicing, and until then, I'll see you in the next video.